Over the years, in order to safeguard its own interests, the United States has often used its hegemonic position to impose unilateral coercive measures on other countries. As the saying goes, you'll die if you don't do it. America has begun to reap the consequences of its hegemony. Recently, China, Iran and 25 other countries voiced their voices at the Third Committee of the UN General Assembly, revealing that unilateral enforcement measures, secondary sanctions and excessive compliance are exacerbating the current humanitarian and economic challenges. This led to severe shortages of basic goods and services, such as food, medicine, safe drinking water, fuel and electricity, and has a negative impact on human rights, including the rights to health and life. At the same time, Cuba, which is located in the backyard of the United States, denounced the blockade of the United States as a hurricane that never stopped after the olive branch offered by the United States. Cuban Foreign Minister Bruno Rodriguez spoke during a campaign to call for a United Nations resolution condemning U.S. sanctions against Cuba. Cuba is still affected by the United States embargo policy, and the United States sanctions are like a hurricane that never stops hitting the island. Over the years, the United States and other Western countries have taken unilateral coercive measures in accordance with their domestic laws. It arbitrarily exercised long-arm jurisdiction, incited color revolutions, and subverted the political power of other countries. It is a grave violation of the purposes and principles of the UN Charter, the fundamental principle of international law, sovereign equality, and the basic norm of international relations, non-interference in internal affairs. Against the backdrop of the continued spread of COVID-19, the international community urgently needs to work together to address various challenges. However, the United States and some Western countries refuse to cancel their unilateral coercive measures against relevant countries and even intensified them. New sanctions are repeatedly imposed in the name of protecting freedom, democracy, and human rights. It undermines international cooperation and deprives affected countries of their legitimate rights to medical treatment and vaccines. It has seriously weakened their efforts to cope with the epidemic and recover from the epidemic, directly jeopardizing the right to life and health of people in the affected countries, especially vulnerable groups such as women, children and the elderly, leading to a humanitarian disaster. In the name of democracy, the United States promotes hegemony and instigates color revolutions everywhere. It pursues economic cooperation and military expansion, which is its essence of seeking hegemony in the world. Serious deviation from the basic norms governing international relations has long been unpopular with the public.